And good morning, I hope you're well this morning. Today is Wednesday, we're going live a little bit early today. It is, I think it's 10 to 9 Spanish time, so 10 minutes early, 10 to 8 here, in the UK. Not here in the UK because I'm still in Spain. But one of the reasons why we are going live slightly early is because I've got a client here for the next couple of days, starting today and tomorrow, and then Friday I think we're either going to go paddle surfing or we're going to go to the aqua park, which is a water park up near us. But for the next 2 days we're pretty intense, just doing some strategizing of his business. A notification came up on my phone and it's like I can't get rid of it. So that's what I'm doing for the next 2 days, but obviously this stuff doesn't stop. Content creation doesn't stop. Sharing our expertise, that doesn't stop. Showing people how to grow the business, none of that stops really, and it shouldn't stop because that's what we're here for. It's what I really enjoy doing. So in today's video, I'm going to talk to you about your website and specifically about where your leads are coming from. Because, or not leads necessarily, but visitors. And visitors are different than leads, right? So a visitor is someone who just lands on your website, might even by an accident. A lead is someone who's filled in a form and has expressed some form of an interest. I saw someone saying that when they're using retargeting pixels and they're going, oh, well, we've got 1,000 leads. And I'm like, 1,000 leads? That's amazing. What do you mean 1,000 leads? And I'm like, oh, we've got 1,000 people who've been we're going to retarget on our pixels. I'm like, well, that's not a lead, is it? What's the name? What's the email address? What's the phone number? Can you speak to them? Well, yeah, we can speak to them. All right, speak to one. Oh, well, we have to run an advert. Well, that's not a lead then, is it? Anyway, so you've got to be really clear, by the way, when you're hiring people about what leads actually are. So website visitors is what we're going to talk about here today. And this is really, really important. So you're going to get to see my really bad graphics as usual. And I have to draw and everything, so it's not going to be good. But that's okay, we'll just deal with it. And if you're listening to the podcast, I'm going to give you the percentage numbers anyway. But where does your traffic come from? So I've got a printout of where my traffic comes from, and that's what we're going to go through. This was yesterday's traffic to my website. So let me just put a point in the middle. So here we've got 25.6%. Oops, 0.6%. That 0.6% obviously is the most important part. Now that came from social media. So think about this. Out of everybody that turned up to my website, a quarter of people turned up from social media, from Twitter, from Facebook, from LinkedIn, from Instagram, from Pinterest, right? 25% came from social media. Now imagine in your business, let's say you're doing 10 grand a month, and imagine that you haven't got that. So now you're only down to 7.5 grand, okay? Or imagine you don't do any social media work at all, and yet you're still doing 10 grand. Now add another 25% to that. I mean, that's just an amazing transition, right? So, depending on what's going on with your website, we had a point where 50% of all our traffic was coming from social media. It just so happens that some of the other sources have increased recently. Okay, so let's do, pick the right colour. Let's do the next one. This one is 26.2%. And this one is direct. So direct means, and this is really, really important, okay, because this is what your brand is about, for me, okay? Direct is where someone goes and they type in the URL directly into the bar at the top on Google. Over a quarter of people coming onto my website go, oh, Daniel Latto, I'll type that in. And they go directly to my website. Now that for me is pretty amazing. So that can come from, they might hear you on the radio, they might go to the podcast and listen to you on the podcast. They wouldn't necessarily see you on YouTube and click through because that just comes under the social media. As far as I know, that comes under social media. Because YouTube's a social media channel, right? I know it's a search engine too, but it's a social media channel as well because there's discussions and that kind of thing. Unlike Google, which is simply a search engine, just to differentiate those two. So, where are yours coming from? And if you're not getting any direct, then you need to start working on your brand. You need to become a household name to some extent. And I'm not even saying for anywhere near that I'm a household name, but I'm clearly doing something right. Now, it could be people going, who is this idiot? Who on earth does he think he... Let's go and check him out. Who is this idiot? This northern monkey? Who is he? Who does he think he is? And that's okay, right? They will qualify themselves in or qualify themselves out one way or the other. The next one then is 31.9%. And this one is organic. Organic is basically search engine optimization. And we work fairly hard on making sure our website is SEO'd. We're not perfect at it, but for some key phrases, we're number one all day long. For other key phrases, we're number two, number three. For some key phrases, we own the first page of Google with video, with content, with podcasts, all sorts of different things. And I tell you, podcasts never rank on Google search, by the way. Very, very rare does an iTunes podcast rank on Google search. It just doesn't happen. But the web pages that on my website that hold the podcast, they rank depending on what those keywords are and depending on what we want them to rank for. So that's quite an interesting aspect as well. So then the next one, and I'm running out of colours, so I'll just do it. Oh no, I've got black. Well, there's two more actually. Let's just do this one here. This one here is 0.6%. And this one is email. Now, that is definitely something we need to work on, and I've been planning to send an email since 10 days ago. That's still not gone out. Okay? Now, the email, bear in mind, this is yesterday as well. And bear in mind that we've not sent out an email since 10 days ago. Someone still opened it yesterday, which is not bad. It's like one person, two people, whatever. So, if we were to do this for a week, instead, that would give us a more overall. But I decided just to print off yesterday's because I wanted to see just take a snapshot in time without premeditating it, without building it up. Look, I could say, oh, let's do it on Friday, and then I'd build it up so that it would skew the numbers, and I didn't really want to do that. I just wanted to see what the actual numbers were. Just take a snapshot, and that's what we did. I think when we finish this, we will go and have a look at the week and just see how that differs from this. I think it'll be quite interesting. Now, if you don't know how to do this, then speak to us, and we'll show you how to do it for free. Okay? We'll do it for free. We'll install it, and we'll do it properly for you. You need to be on WordPress. That's the only thing that we'd ask on your website. And if you're not on WordPress, what are you doing? Seriously. Like if it's HTML, every time you want to update your website, you have to pay a designer. That just doesn't make sense to me. Anyway, speak to me if you want us to do this for free for you. We can pull this information out of your website. The final one then is 15.8%. And this one is referral traffic. Now, referral traffic is if you've written an article about me and there's a link on your website to my website, that's what referral traffic is. Now, I'm actually surprised by this number, but there's a couple of reasons why I think this is happening. I don't think we have a lot of people that refer us, although saying that, we did a podcast last week that went out, and so that's obviously going to drive some traffic. It's got a link back to my website, so that's probably some of where that comes from. We are on other people's websites as well, historically, stuff that we've done in the past. But you see, stuff that you've done a year or 2 years ago, that adds up today. And the stuff you did 5 years ago, that would add up too, as long as the links are still there. The stuff you're going to do today and the stuff you're going to do tomorrow, all of that adds up. And it's almost like what you do today actually is irrelevant for today. It doesn't make a difference. What you do today makes a difference in a week, in a month, in a year. It's very rare you do something today and you get an instant result. Life's not like that. You have to start it off now, and then in a year's time, that's when you get your results. And you're like, oh, I haven't got time to wait that long. Well, you should have started a bloody year ago. So referral traffic. Now, there's another reason why referral traffic is as high as it should be. And actually, you know what? We should be having a strategy specifically just to get referral traffic, because this is really important, getting notifications or notices on other people's websites. And this could be like blog posting. And you know what? Actually, we're going to do an outreach campaign, and we're going to get blogged from other people's websites back onto ours, because it's something that we're not doing at all. But one of the other reasons why this might happen is, let's say that we bought a website called a domain name, and let's just call it. I'm trying to think of a random. I don't know. What should we do? We buy bikes. We buy bikes. The only reason .co.uk. Okay. The only reason I say that, and I'm sure by the way that exists as a website. The only reason the bike popped into my head is my child's bike's just there with the stabilisers on. So it's like, oh, bike. Okay, so let's say that we own that website, but we point it to my website. That might be a popular name, and people go, oh, I wonder if We Buy Bikes exists, so people type it in. But like, there's loads of, We Buy Bikes right now, just getting loads of traffic for free. I probably should have used one of my other websites. But I'm trying to think of another website, but we know it's definitely up and running. Maybe we do the We Buy Houses for Cash one. So it's I should have used that to begin with, really. We Buy Houses for Cash.co.uk. Now, actually, this website has got content on it. I don't know if you can see that if it's off screen, but it has got content on it. But it's got links that point back to my website. That's what referral traffic is. And if you're doing blog posts for other people's websites, you're going to increase the percentage of referral traffic. But remember, by increasing the percentage of referral traffic, if that goes to 25%, an extra 7%, you might be taking 7% off your organic because it's out of 100, right? That doesn't mean you're getting less visitors. It just means it's more balanced. And I just want to talk to you briefly about why this should be balanced. That's not bad. That really should be, in an ideal world, 20%. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It should be 20% of traffic hitting the website should be coming from social media. 20% from direct links. Good morning, Tina. Hope you're well. Thank you for joining. 20% should be coming from organic, like SEO type stuff. 20% should be referral traffic. 20% should be coming from my email list. And this is the reason why. What happens if something happens to Facebook? Or what if, like, the US Senate just recently were querying Mark Zuckerberg at Facebook, trying to understand his business model. Well, how do you make money if it's free? Well, Senator, we sell ads. It's like, has this guy never used it? And then another guy was saying, well, if I use WhatsApp to email, no, you don't use WhatsApp to email anybody. Yeah, but if I did, well, you can't WhatsApp email someone, you WhatsApp them. It's just bizarre, right? People trying to make rules on stuff they obviously don't understand. But anyway, let's say all these rules came in and social media just went, something happened to social media, it no longer existed. If you're losing 25% of your business overnight, that's an issue, right? And I'm not saying that if you only lost 20%, if it was more equal, that would be better. I mean, it'd be slightly better, but not, you still got a problem, right? But the fact that you've got all this extra stuff here going off would cover you in case something happens to social media. Or what happens if Google comes along and changes their algorithms and SEO no longer works and you get rid of that one? And you've now got no brand, nobody knows who you are, your SEO is not working, social media doesn't exist. You've now only got direct traffic, people typing in your website address into the bar at the top, and referral traffic and email. Like, you got a problem, right? And part of being in business is about reducing the number of problems that you've got. Is about anticipating what happens if, and most people don't do this. Most people, they haven't even got an email list. They have no idea what they rank for. Literally no idea. They have no idea that this even exists. That this piece of paper that you can pull. Why can't I do it there? That you can pull something out. People have no idea about that. And that scares me. It really scares me. So if you want to know what yours is, then speak to me. One of the things that we're looking into, and I think it's probably going to happen, we've just been doing some websites for some people, and we've been doing some social media work for people as well in the last couple of weeks. And actually, as a social media agency, I think that's probably one of the directions that we're heading in, because this scares the living crap out of me, because people simply have no idea where the traffic comes from. They've got no email list, they've got no branding, nobody knows who they are, their social media presence is sharing puppies or motivational quotes. Like, sharing motivational quotes is like picking up the phone and just cold calling someone random out of a phone book, Mr. Smith. You picked his name out of a phone book. Hey, Mr. Smith, do you want website design? Can I sell you a bed or a holiday? Or like, why would Mr. Smith want that just because you phoned him? It just makes no sense. Why would you share a motivational quote on Facebook? Why would that drive traffic back to your website? It doesn't make any sense to me. So let's just finish with this, because this is really important. On the social media part, people are getting it completely and utterly wrong. What on earth are you posting for? Well, the only reason you should be posting anything, let's do this in red, because the black one, I left the lid off one day and the black pen is not working as well. The only reason you're on social media, these are different social media, Facebook, these are different social media channels, LinkedIn, Twitter. The only reason you're using social media is to drive people into your sales funnel, your marketing funnel. So they come in here, this is the landing page. So now you can get an email, so now you can email them. That's like number one. Number two would be to email them. And this is where you've got a list. So you've got email number one, email number two. And each email should be adding value to go with Gary Vaynerchuk's jab, 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 hook. Content, 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 offer of a sale. Try and sell something. Right? So email number three. And then email number four would be like a sales opportunity. Or it could be come for a strategy session. It could be anything, right? It could be buy my stuff. As long as you've built up enough trust and rapport and that kind of thing. And then email number 5, number 6, number 7 is back to giving more content. And the type of content could be, this one could be video, this one could be a podcast, this one could be a welcome email, which it should be, tell them about who you are, why you're in business, and a little story around that. And then the next one's sales, and then this one would be video again, this one would be podcast, and this one would be text. So you've got different types of mediums going out to people. That's the only reason you're posting on social media, is to send them into your channel, and out pops at the bottom a sale. Like, it's not as straightforward as that, if only it was. But on Facebook, you should be, this is who I am, this is me, a video about who you are, a podcast about your kind of personality, about why you can help people, all of that kind of thing. It all builds trust and credibility along the way, and eventually out will pop a sale. But how is sharing a picture of a cat falling off a log, wearing a tutu, how is that like adding any value to your business? Like, people get this so utterly wrong. And by the way, like on Instagram's a bit different. So I do share exotic cars on Instagram, but that's only because that's where I'm heading, and I want to take those people who are heading on that same journey with me. But even that's a very small percentage. What goes out on my Instagram, and Instagram's obviously very visual, unlike Facebook, right? Because Facebook, you've got a lot of text. But with Instagram, we're putting out, if we upload a video today, which will go out 12:30 today, we've got one at 12:30 and one at 8 p.m. or 6 p.m, I think. We've got 2 videos going out today. That goes up onto Instagram, people click the link and go back to my website, and then we're back into driving people back again, back to a website. That's the whole point of it. You're using social media all wrong. Anyway, I hope that's useful for you. I hope this was useful for you in terms of understanding, that just realising that you should be looking at where your traffic's coming from. And then when you know where it's coming from, then you can make a decision to do something about it and improve that, which will improve your business. All right, I hope that's useful for you. Wednesday today. Have a great week, and we'll speak to you tomorrow. Take care.